Alright, so I just got some LED headlights and I wanted to take a before video. So I'm going to try and use the same location just to kind of give you a bit of an idea of the distance. This is a 2016 Chevrolet Tahoe with the projector housing with a halogen bulb behind it. So believe it or not, these halogen bulbs, even though right now they look pretty bright, for some reason there are times when they just don't seem like they're bright enough to do the trick. So what I'm going to do is install these JDM astar HID bulbs that I was able to purchase over the last couple of days. So I'm going to try them out. I've previously tried to install HID headlights and I have not been successful because Chevrolet has a pulsating power source that just doesn't work out too well with HIDs. And I did purchase a harness that was supposed to eliminate that issue. However, it was still unable to use the HIDs because I got zero power at that point. I was able to turn them on with the vehicle off, but as soon as I started it, they would flicker and then turn off. So I'm going to show you that harness real quick, and then I'm going to put in the driver's side headlight with the LED and compare it to the halogen bulb on the passenger side, only because the driver's side is a little more accessible, so I can get that one done pretty quickly and do a comparison and then get them both installed and then actually show the distance again. So I'll be back with that one. Alright, so it's a little bit dirty here, but what you can see here is I actually have the ballast still in there. It's actually mounted in there, so I didn't, during my previous attempts to get this installed, I just left it there. It wasn't hurting anything. So the wire harness here that I got actually goes across all the way to the other side, actually connects to the battery. I'm not sure if you see the red wire that goes there. That's connected directly to the battery, and what it does is on this side, not sure if I can access it right now, and it's kind of tucked in here behind the filter, which is why I want to do the driver's side first. There's a relay that actually connects to the passenger side headlight connection to the wire harness, and then from the wire harness it gets its ground and power once the relay is activated, and the power wire actually runs all the way around. It's this one here, and it's fusible. I currently have the fuse taken out of it, so it's not generating any electricity through that system at the moment. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and do the driver's side, hopefully pretty quickly. And the other thing I wanted to mention was JDM astar. I called them up, and I've purchased their LEDs before. I've purchased their peanut bulbs. I think they're the 194s, and a few other ones. The reverse lights are for my Honda Civic, and a few other dome lights and whatnot, little knickknacks. Anyways, they have pretty good products, and one of the things they recommended I get was this decoder. So it's an extra $10, but I guess this is supposed to prevent the potential for any kind of error messages on the dash. I did notice that the Tahoe has a pretty extensive electrical system that it keeps track of all the bulbs and whatnot, so it's pretty cool. So this is the 8th gen HID, LED headlight. Now, one of the things that I actually went and compared was the G2 versus this one, and I even asked JDM astar to give me their honest opinion, because they still sell both of them. It's not like one replaced the other, apparently. They still support both models, and what they said was this one's better for reliability, long-term wise. This one should last a lot longer, and this one also has the adjustable head on it so that you can ensure that the LEDs are facing the correct direction inside the housings so that you get the correct output. That is actually the only reason why I went with these. The G2s that they have are actually brighter. They are 1000 lumens brighter. And they did say it was notable. And so here they are. Haven't actually looked at them yet. I did take them out of the shipping packaging. So instruction manual. Looks like they have the Allen key there for the adjustment, and here's the bulb with the 4000 lumen. So we'll see how this works out. I'm kind of tempted to try them out without the decoder plugged in and with it, just to see what the difference is, see if there is an issue. But looks pretty well made. I mean, this is feels like a pretty durable aluminum. Doesn't feel like steel. It's pretty light. And the bulb housing as well. It's also made out of metal. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. So pretty decent sized tabs. The seal, I don't have any other seals, so I'm hoping this one works out well. I did see some reviews, not on this product, but on other LED bulbs where that rubber seal needs to be thickened up a little bit to make them fit well. Alright, well, there's one. The other one is probably going to be identical. I'm not going to pull it out. Again, thank you JDM astar for providing this product, and we'll see how they turn out. I'll be back once I get a little bit of this done. Okay, so I just wanted to mention something before I went a little bit further here. I just wanted to mention that I feel it's really important to make sure that you're wearing some sort of latex glove. I actually put brand new ones on after I removed everything. There's a dust, probably moisture cap that goes on the back here, and then the wire harness, the plug there. I removed that, and then I actually got a fresh pair of gloves that I put on. And the reason I'm doing that is because just like my experience with these HIDs, I want to make sure that for any reason, if I need to reinstall the OEM headlight bulb, halogen bulb, so that I can have lighting just in case there is an issue, that these bulbs weren't contaminated with any kind of oils from my hand. That can shorten the life of the bulb, and that's definitely not something you want to happen. And just to be safe, I'm actually going to save these bulbs just in case for some reason over the next couple of days or something like that, something comes up or they stop working. So I mean, I'm just going to save them. You know, it's worth saving them, and then I'm actually going to put them in a Ziploc bag and store them inside the vehicle so that if something was to happen, I can actually change these bulbs out on the spot if I'm driving at night or something comes up and I need to replace those bulbs for some reason. So just wanted to mention that it's worth saving. Not that I have any concerns with the reliability of the product from JDM astar, but I definitely wanted to make sure that I'm not putting myself at risk to where I'm gonna have to go spend some money on emergency money on halogen bulbs just to make sure I have something that works just in case something does happen with these. So just wanted to note that. Okay, so I just reinstalled, or not reinstalled, but I just installed the LED bulb, and just to take note, one of the things I did find is that the bulb itself is already adjusted for the 9 and 3 o'clock position, which is what I found is recommended for these projector housings, so that the cutoff line is straight. If you have it angled any which way, it'll potentially change the way that the light reflects in the housing and then distort the cutoff line that the projectors will have. So it's at a 3 and 9 o'clock position, so the LEDs are facing right and left, not up and down. And I was able to confirm that by actually looking at the bulb. And these bulbs, they face straight down when they're installed, which means that the pins on the pins that hold it in actually go straight across in order for that to achieve that 3 and 9 o'clock position. So if you look at the LED bulb, the 2 pins that are here actually go across, which means that when it's in correctly, you'll have that at the 3 and 9 o'clock position. So the larger pins on top directly aligned with the top of the LED. So I just wanted to take note of that. And I just installed it. And like I said, I wanted to do a dry run or a test run without the decoder installed. So as you can see, I have both decoders still here. I haven't even opened them out of the package yet. They're still in there. And I'm going to turn them on now and see how that turns out. So let's see. Okay, so I just turned it on, and it is turning on. It is working. It's pretty bright. Excuse the mess. It's become storage here. So as you can see, colors there. Looks like a pretty sharp cutoff line just on my hand alone, but I will take it outside and get a better view of what that looks like. Obviously, it's going to look a lot better in the distance. And if I don't feel like the cutoff line is as sharp as these halogen bulbs, then I will probably tinker with the adjustment. They did recommend adjusting it, turning it a little bit off of the 3 and 9 o'clock position if for some reason it's not a straight cutoff. So, but I would presume that it should work just fine, considering I've seen the experience of other people like this. So I actually have the keys. I'm going to turn it on because the pulsing of the positive power on these LEDs doesn't happen until the vehicle turns on and the body control modules is actually initiated. So I'm going to do that real quick and see if these are affected by that and if I get any sort of a message. Okay, it's on. As you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but the lights are on. Oh, they're flickering, and it's off. Okay, so I just turned off the automatic light. Just tell me the hood's open. And now I'm going to turn the automatic lights back on. And it's flickering, as you can see. Oh, that's a driver memory feature. Dismiss that, dismiss that. Okay, looks like I'm not getting any sort of error message, but the bulb's definitely not working. So I'm going to go ahead and install the decoder and hope that that's not the same. I get different results, because that's actually the issue that I had initially. And as you can see, as soon as you remove the key, the lights do turn back on. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but that light is on now. I just turned them off. But that's the result of the body control module engaging and pulsating the power to the front headlights. Now that's a feature that GM uses to regulate the amount of output that they have. It actually lowers the heat in the housing, and apparently that's also how they utilize their daytime running light feature. Although I haven't noticed a difference in the brightness from daytime running lights to the regular nighttime running lights, I guess, regular headlight power. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and install the decoder in right now, and then once I'm done with that, I'll get that video back on and see what the results are. But I'm really hoping that this is going to resolve that issue, because if it doesn't, I'm going to be really disappointed. Alright, so I'll get back to you guys soon. Okay, something worth noting here. So here's the decoder, and it has the clip on both sides. Let me see if I can get that in the light for you guys. Okay, so the clip is on both sides here. Obviously one's a little higher than the other, but I'm going to try. There's really no, on the actual LEDs themselves, there is no positive or negative indicator. It's a round cable that connects to it, wire here. So, but there's no way to indicate what side's negative or positive. But I think it's worth mentioning that from what I found out, these can be installed either direction. Polarity is not an issue here. So I did want to mention that, but I'm wondering if that's going to be a problem with this. If it is, I guess I'll turn it around and figure that out. Alright, so I've gone ahead and removed actually the other HID setup that I had going on. The other wires are just kind of bunched up on that end right now. And I'll remove those once I get to that side. But as you can see, I've installed the decoder here. So it is labeled or marked the in and out. So in, out, which goes to the LED bulb. So in from the vehicle harness through here to the LED bulb. So it's time to do that test again and see if I have better results. So first things first is let's find out if it turns on. Let's see, where can I get a good view? Just gonna try and peek through here and see if I can get a good view of that. So here goes. On. So that's working just fine. So I'll put it back to the auto feature, and now we're gonna start the vehicle. All right. Looks like they're on. I'm not getting any error messages on the dash. Looks like there's zero flickering going on now, which is really cool. So you can see that. They're on. And there is a noticeable color difference here. The standard one. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull the vehicle out and then just do a quick side-by-side comparison. Okay, so I've gone ahead and pulled the vehicle out. Very similar position to where it was at in the first part of the video. And I have this plastic cover here, this tote cover, and what I want to do is kind of just compare the light output, see if I can get a good comparison. I wonder if I can get a good view of the color. Get a little angle maybe. Yeah, so I mean, at least against the wall there you can see it's pretty white, and then on this side here it's very yellow, so you can definitely see the color difference. So I'm going to go ahead and cover the the LED JDM astar LEDs first, the 8th gen, and that's the output from the halogen bulb. It looks like you can see pretty far down the alley, even through the camera. The light definitely projects down to the end over there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this cover from the JDM astar 8th gens. Wow, that's so noticeable. And I'm going to go ahead and cover the halogen bulb now. Wow. I mean, you can see there's definitely a difference, but just in the light output alone, it's a lot sharper. You know, the cutoff line is pretty sharp there. It looks really good. And I can actually see down at the end, there's a lot more light disbursement down at the end. I'm not sure if you can pick it up on the camera here. I'm going to tap it, see if it'll focus in on it, but yeah. So they're both combined there. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this one up over here. So the JDM astar is covered up. That's a halogen bulb there. And the line cutoff is pretty dull there. It's really blurry. Doesn't look that great. I'm going to add in JDM astar. Just totally nukes out that line and makes it look really good. And then just JDM astar. I mean, it's just noticeably different there. That's a beautiful looking bulb there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and install the other one. You guys pretty much know what it looks like to install it, like what the differences are there. So I'm going to get it installed and then do the next side-by-side. Keep the video a little shorter. One thing I do want to mention is that the dust cap or cover that goes on will not be able to be reinstalled without modifying it some way. because there's no holes, and I actually need to allow for 2 wires to go in and out. So I don't know if I want to modify this right now, but yeah, so I'm not going to be able to reinstall these at the moment. If I can figure out a way to install these and keep the housing protected, I will, but at the moment this is going to be not reinstalled. Okay, so I did finish the install. I reinstalled the air filter. Something I noticed, I take my vehicle to the dealership, and something I noticed was that this clamp here was loose. And then there's a red safety pin here on your air mass sensor, AMF. This red pin here goes up like that. And what you want to do is make sure that thing's secured down. Mine was lifted up. It has a secondary pin that it holds, so you have to lift this and then press in here to remove it. If you don't press that black tab in there, it won't come off anyways, but I think it was worth mentioning that that was loose and that was too. So I know they did check the air filter, but that was just something worth mentioning. So something else I did was, let me grab a light real quick. I was concerned with potential for cooling here because the air box here kind of blocks it, unlike on that side. And this side has this protective cover here that actually goes over the whole entire headlight entry there. And so what I noticed was it was going to block airflow, and I was concerned with overheating on the LED bulbs. So as you can see, I cut the little tabs. They looked just like this here. Let's see if I can get in there and point. This little triangle notches that they cut into it so it fits over, that had the same thing down there, and I cut those off just to allow airflow through there. I'm sure this little plastic cover is relatively cheap at the dealership. I couldn't imagine it being more than maybe 20 bucks. But I also don't really see a need for it. You got the air box here covering that space to protect it from potential water coming in. What I did notice was on this side I don't even have that back here. That's not permanent yet. I still need to put some zip ties in there to secure those so they don't bounce around. But I am going, the other side's already been secured. I even ran some zip ties through this connection here and this one here because I wasn't too confident with that clip. It didn't actually snap in. It's pretty loose. As you can see, I can just kind of pull it out there, so it doesn't click. So I did put some zip ties on the other side. I wasn't too concerned on this side because it does snap in. It has these 2 pins on both sides that do grab, and it does hold in there pretty well. So I'm not concerned with that. This one obviously twists on as a watertight fitting connection there, so I'm not really concerned with that. It was just this one here. So on that side there, I put a zip tie. I'll do the same on this side once I secure these down, but those over there got zip tied and secured. See if I can kind of give you an example here. On this side, I just kind of tucked them down in there, and there's a big hole underneath the air box that I was able to kind of stick my hand through and zip tie it and secure these 2 boxes underneath there. And I did not secure them together because I felt like they'd probably need some heat dissipation, so I didn't want to impede on that. So I did put them a little bit separate on both sides so they can allow some cooling to go through, and they're actually kind of underneath the fender well, so I think airflow might not be an issue on that side, especially since the air filter has an opening on the bottom for the airflow. So that's pretty much what it looks like. Again, thank you JDM astar for this product so far. I'm really excited about it. It fits really well. The housing's going pretty nice. I mean, the LED bulbs are in there pretty well. They don't move around at all. There's no play or anything, so I was worried about the seal that went around it because of some other videos that I've seen, but that was not an issue with them. The only thing I will mention is they mention that, you know, the Allen key tightens up this back piece here, and that actually comes off so you can flip it around, as you can see in this demonstration here. And that Allen key wasn't tight on neither one of them, so when I was going in there, and I actually wanted to remove it afterwards just to see how tight it was, how the bolt fit, and I actually ended up unscrewing this piece, back piece here, the heat sink. So I had to tighten it back up and then re-secure it with the Allen key, which is why it's out of the bag. But just something worth mentioning, if you do your adjustments outside of the vehicle like I did, all you need to do is make sure that you secure the heat sink with the Allen key provided, and make sure that's tight. Besides that, pretty much done, and I'm going to pull the vehicle out right now and get you a demonstration of what the light output looks like, and then take it a little bit closer towards the end of the alley so you can get a view of the lights against the wall. So be back soon.